Hi, everybody. Hello and good morning or good evening, wherever you are right now. I'm in South Korea. It's 10 a.m. Friday, and so good morning. Yeah, I'm back here again today. My name is Linda from ITTT. If you've been here before, hi. And if this is your first time watching, thanks so much for tuning in and taking the time. We really, really appreciate it. Yeah, so if at any time during this live session today you have any questions, feel free to drop your comments in the comment section from whichever platform you're watching from. So we are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube at the same time. If you can see me, if you can hear me, just leave a hi into the comment box. That would be really highly appreciated so that I know that everything is working well. And yeah, so the first couple of minutes, let's just have a chat and let's wait for a couple of people to join in for our topic today. I mean, you probably already saw it in the title, but today's topic are the best countries for solo women to teach English abroad. So if you're a woman and you're thinking about teaching English abroad, but you're not quite sure, where you should go in terms of, safety or any of those issues, this live would be perfect for you. And so, yeah. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe to ITTT on Facebook, on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you want. We'd highly appreciate it. We always share and advertise our live sessions. We go live twice a week. Me on Fridays or Thursdays, depending on when you're watching this or where you're watching from. And my colleague Lisa on Tuesdays. And she's a non-native English speaker from Russia. So you always get sort of both perspectives. That's what I really like about our lives, because you get like a native speaker's perspective and a non-native speaker's perspective. So that's really, really cool. So yeah, you don't want to miss these. Like I said, we go live twice a week. And also, we always turn our live sessions into podcast episodes. This is why I have this fancy mic in front of me. So if you're into podcasts, or if you just downloaded this episode and you're listening to my voice, thanks so much for downloading. We really appreciate it. We actually just hit 1,000 podcast downloads. We're so excited about that because, we never really thought about starting a podcast, but then we just kind of started, and it's become very successful in just a matter of months. So thanks so much for that. Also, there is this one. There is a special offer. Yeah, right here. This QR code. I never get this right because it's mirrored. It's so strange. Anyway, the QR code there. You can scan it at any time throughout this live, and you get 30% off any TEFL or TESOL course from ITTT. I also have a discount URL for you if you don't want to scan it. If you're on mobile, you can't scan it, or whatever. I'm also going to share that. So don't worry, you're going to get your 30% off no matter what. Let me see. Is there anything else? Oh, hi. Hi, Gwen. Thanks so much for tuning in. And Juliana, some familiar faces. That's great. I love this community. Like week after week, we have new faces, but we also have faces or names that I see every week after week after week. So I love your dedication and your support. It means so much. Thank you so much. Hello. Sewang Combo. I hope I pronounced this right. Samuel, thank you so much for tuning in. That's great. All right. Keep me. Oh, you've been looking for answers. Sure. So anytime throughout this live, feel free to throw your questions at me. There's also a Q&A section at the end as always. If you've been here before, you know the drill. I always prepare sort of like a visual presentation that goes along with what I'm saying, but you can still ask your questions at any time. And then there's also time at the end after I've finish with my presentation part, like a Q&A session where you can also ask questions. So keep them coming. I love engaging with you guys. I always also learn so much from our lives because of you guys. We're engaging, we're sharing information. I think that's what it's all about. Especially as us girls, we need to stick together, and we need to help each other out. Hi, Tiana. Thanks so much for joining again. Great. Cool. That's so awesome. So yeah. I'm super excited to talk about today's topic, the best countries for solo women to teach English abroad. And also I'm going to throw some useful tips in there if you're, a solo woman and you want to go abroad to teach English by yourself. I've done that, I've lived I was born and raised in Germany, and then I moved to China. That was my first time going abroad by myself. I think I was 19. I went to China. I didn't know anybody there. I just took the leap. And then I also moved to California by myself. And then actually back to China a second time, also by myself, to a different place, a new city. And then I came to South Korea, also sort of by myself, but I already knew someone there. But yeah, so I hope I'll be able to offer some insight into, not even just teaching abroad, but also just traveling abroad solo. If you want to start there, I think that's also a great way to just kind of start your journey, I guess. Before you take the leap and move, somewhere new, you could just go on a solo trip. So that's also very exciting. I'm married, but I love solo travel. It's just so freeing. You can do what you want. It's the ultimate, for me, it's the ultimate like feeling of freedom when you go and travel solo. So yeah. So we're going to talk about all that. Let me put my sleeves back and get ready for this. Hi, Irma. Good to see you again, too. I love that we have like this community of people that I see every week after week after week. Thank you so much. We have Lilia. Hi. Where are you tuning in from? Awesome. Excuse me. Huyen. Huyen, is that how you say your name? I hope I'm right. Hope that I can gain more from your live stream. I'm going to decide to learn TESOL. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. That's also one question I always ask at the beginning of my lives. Who's doing a TEFL course right now? Who's already certified? Who's not, taking a course yet? Who's thinking about it, etc., etc. So also let me know where you are in your TEFL journey so that then I can better answer your questions. Hi, Giuliano. Giuliano says, I almost forgot to watch your video today. My name is Giuliano, and I believe it's important to bring up this topic. Pretty important. Thank you. And also thanks for being here as a man. I think, that's also important that because women's issues are men's issues, are human issues, right? So thanks so much for being here as a man and also listening to, this topic. That's very, very important. So thank you so much for that. That's really awesome. Okay. Yeah, and maybe starting off with a question, have you traveled or moved abroad solo before? Any of you guys watching? Or are you completely new to solo travel, solo moving abroad? What's your take on it? What maybe are some of your concerns? Something like that. I would be really interested in knowing more about that so that I can tailor the session to you guys' needs. Christina, hi. What a great topic. Definitely want to know about this. Great to see you. Great to see you again. I remember you watched before too. Thanks so much for tuning in again. And Tiana says, I know which one I want to take. It's the business course one. Oh, cool. Yeah. So you want to take the business certification, business English. Great. Yeah, I also have that. So that's one of the specializations. But you do need to get the full 120-hour course before that, though. because the business one and the teaching English to young learners one, those all build upon the standard 120-hour course. So those always go hand in hand. But we do have course bundles, that that include that one. So the master package would be the 120-hour course plus the business English course plus the young learners course. So that would be good for you. Okay. Tiana says, I've never been outside the US, sadly, but it created the travel bug in me. Yeah, awesome. That's really, really great. Yeah. Definitely, traveling abroad is such a great thing, and I highly recommend it to anyone. Like, I love travel, and it just, it's so cliche, but it like really changes you. You grow as a person, you get a lot of different perspectives. So I definitely recommend that. All right, Samuel says, I'm aiming at grabbing bachelor's TEFL. Is it available? So our courses are not, we offer certification level courses. So we have TEFL and TESOL certificates. We also have a TESOL diploma course. Online courses, in-class courses combined. I highly recommend you checking out TEFLcourse.net. There you can see all the different course formats. And then you can pick and choose, which one suits you best. All right, Gwendolyn says, yes, I've moved around with family before, but moved to the US by myself for school. I loved it, and I think going somewhere alone is an incredibly enriching experience that I hope everyone can try at least once. I completely agree. Yes, totally. Cool. Yeah. Moving to a different place is, an exciting but also daunting adventure, so you need to do a lot of research before you go. Katie, is it Katie? I hope I'm saying it right. Katie, hi Linda, I'm new, but I've watched a couple of your videos. I have lived in Chile and Vanuatu before. Cool, that's a really cool place. I don't even know how to pronounce it correctly, but I've heard about it. It's like, is it in the Caribbean or it's a tropical place? I know that much. That's so cool. How did you end up there? That's exciting. Okay. Tiana, I completely agree, and it will help you learn more about yourself. Yes, totally. Okay, cool. So now I know a little bit more about you guys and what your background is and what you're dealing with. So I'm going to add my presentation, and then we can start getting into the topic, but keep your questions coming and your comments coming. Let's have a discussion. I just want this to be casual and, as useful and helpful to you guys as possible. And I also have my tea here because there's some issues with my throat again. Anyway, we're dealing with this. Who else thinks that this week went by super fast? Is it just me? Okay, Katie says you pronounced it correctly. Your name or the place or both? Vanuatu is next to Australia. Okay, I went there as a Peace Corps trainee for 2 months. Oh, wow, that's so cool. Very, very cool. And then Samuel says, any idea of traveling to Cambodia as an ESL teacher? So sadly, I've not been to Cambodia yet. It's very high up on my list. But they do have a high demand for ESL teachers. So, they're looking for teachers, ESL teachers. And I do also think that they're one of those places that, accept teachers without a degree and also teachers who are non-native English speakers, but TEFL certified. So Cambodia is a great place for ESL teaching for sure. Okay, both. Okay, I'm glad. Cool. Okay, so let me add my presentation now. I'm going to be a little bit smaller. I hope you can still see me over here. Yeah. So the best countries to teach English abroad for solo women. And it's always kind of hard phrasing it to not sound like weird, but so basically the best countries to teach English abroad or to travel to if you're a woman and you're going alone. that's the gist of it. Oh, we have somebody else joining. Christy. Hey, I'm Christy, and I've taught English in China. Recently, I returned to my home country. Cool. Where in China did you teach? I also taught in China before. That's really cool. Gwendolyn, I volunteered as an ESL teacher in Cambodia in high school. I think there's a lot of opportunity there and such a beautiful country too. Thanks so much for sharing that. So Samuel, maybe you and Gwendolyn can connect and, find out more about teaching in Cambodia together. That'd be cool. Maybe Gwendolyn can share her contacts if you still have them. That'd be cool. All right. So as always, I do a brief introduction about myself. So my name is Linda Dunsmore. I'm a travel writer and content creator under the name Linda Goes East because I moved to China and then later to South Korea. So I'm originally from Germany, born and raised in Germany, but I am half German and half American. So my dad is American, my mom is German. And you can find my personal stuff at lindagoeseast.com. I write a lot about also solo travel. I travel a lot around Asia, a lot solo. And on social media, you can find me at Linda Goes East. Like I said, I'm based in South Korea. It's currently my 6th year. Time goes by so fast. But 6 years in South Korea. And I'm just waiting we all are, for the borders to open up again so that I can travel more around Asia. I just love Asia. I don't know what it is. It just, makes me happy being in Asia. And I just love the different vibrant cultures here, and I want to see more of it. So on the other side, I am also a TEFL and TESOL marketing professional at ITTT, where we're watching the live from today, International TEFL and TESOL Training. You can find us at TEFLcourse.net and on Instagram at International TEFL Training. And I've said that before, but we're really trying to grow our Instagram. So head to Instagram and look for International TEFL Training. And please give us a follow. So that would be really great. And ITTT is a leading TEFL and TESOL course provider worldwide for people who want to go abroad to teach English. I think that's it. And I'm just going to mention that again, you see this QR code in your upper right-hand corner. So at any time during the live, depending on where you're watching this from and what device, you can scan this QR code and then you'll be led to the application page of our website. And if you apply through this page, through the QR code, you get 30% off any TEFL or TESOL course. And I'm also going to share, let me just throw that in there right now. I'm going to share the URL as well, because some people can't scan the code. So I just pasted the discount link into the comment box. Excuse me. So you can copy that, and then it's the same thing. You'll be led to the application page, and from there you can apply and then get 30% off. All right. I hope I'll make it until the end of the session, but I think we'll get there. All right. Yeah. That's that. And then again, so the best countries for teaching English abroad as a solo woman, basically. So, and a couple of you guys said some of you have never traveled outside of your country, but some other people said they already moved abroad to different countries before. So maybe you could also share your experience, how it was for you, and maybe later also some resources that maybe you used before you moved abroad so that you can help out those ladies that are still about to move abroad. So that'd be really cool. I am also going to be sharing some, really great Facebook groups that you should join. If you're a woman and you're planning on moving or traveling solo, so definitely watch until the end, because I think the groups are really the most helpful thing. There's one group that's basically has 1 million members on Facebook. So wherever you want to move to, there's probably going to be like at least, 100 people already living there. So yeah, watch out for that. So let's get right into it. So the first thing I just want to say about this whole topic is that even though we say like, yeah, moving abroad or traveling solo, you are not alone. You are never alone, especially when it comes to traveling or if it comes to moving abroad as well. Actually, around 60% of all English teachers are women. English teachers abroad are women. So that's obviously a high percentage. So wherever you're moving to and for teaching, there's already going to be, you know, a very tight-knit expat community with like-minded people that you can connect to. So even though, you know, maybe your parents are going to be like, oh, you know, it's dangerous, you don't know anybody there, or like, or you're thinking this to yourself, right? You know, it's daunting moving abroad when you don't know anybody, but just know that you're not alone. It's probably likely going to be a huge city where you're moving to, so there's already going to be people there that you can connect with. So like I said, around 60% of all English teachers abroad are women, so you already have a network there. And then there's also typically every large city has like an expat community, right? Or if it's a smaller country, like the country as a whole, they have an expat community. There's always foreigners there. There's always people from your country going to be there as well. So you can connect with them. But I think the key is finding out how to find them and how to connect with them. So most of the time, you know, if you're working for a school, if it's a bigger school, there's also going to be other foreign teachers already there that you can already connect with, or, you know, in the vicinity. There's always Facebook groups or, you know, groups on other social media platforms where you can reach out to people. So I just want to throw that out there. Just the first thing I want to say is like, you are not alone. Okay. And then, yeah. So basically, those are the two groups that I want to mention. The two groups that I think that you should join on Facebook, you know, that will help you as a solo female traveler or solo female teacher. So this group right here. Yeah, so this group almost has 80,000 members, and I'm also a member here. I'm a member of both groups, so they're really great. And I actually went live with one of the members from this group before. And yeah, it's just a very, very cool group. Solo Female Travelers is the first Facebook group for women who travel solo. And they do regular lives as well. And they invite guests, other girls who travel abroad and share like their stories. So this is a really great group that you should definitely join. And also, so is Girls Love Travel. It's very similar. So this doesn't only focus on solo, but it's also a lot of solo stuff. And like I said, that one has 1.1 million members. So a lot of members. So those are on Facebook. You just type in Girls Love Travel, and then the groups will pop up on Facebook. And then you can click on the join button. Same as Solo Female Travelers. You can type that into Facebook in the search bar, and then it's going to pop up and you can join. They might ask you like a couple of questions, like, have you traveled solo before? Or like, where do you want to go? Or something like that. They might ask you that, but you can definitely join that. So those are just two things I want to mention right off the bat. You can look it up and then join. And then ask your questions. That's the great thing about those groups, that you can ask questions. And then, I mean, this one group has 1 million people in there, so 1 million girls, so they can get back to you. And I'm sure there's somebody who has been through the exact same shoes as you. So definitely join those and get as much research as possible before you embark on your journey. And actually, they also, both of them, I think, have a Clubhouse group as well. If you are on Clubhouse, you can also find them there. And I listened in on a couple of their talks. It's very interesting. The Girls Love Travel group, they recently did a Clubhouse session about safety, travel safety, and they had like 6 different girls with, travel experience all over the world. One was like in Europe, one was backpacking through Latin America, one was in Asia, lots of different things. And they were sharing like their safety tips. So that was also very interesting. And so I highly recommend that because, you can never get enough information about solo travel and about safety as a woman traveling alone either. Okay. All right. And so I pulled up I looked for some statistics, and this is the Safe Cities Index 2019. This is the most current one. Basically the safest cities in the world. And they categorized it. They put it into those 4 categories. So there's digital security, health security, infrastructure security, and personal security. And I put the link down here. They have a really big infographic right here. So if you are interested and you want to check that out, it has even more information on there. But those are basically the top 5 cities, the safest cities. And I think what's most interesting is definitely the personal security, because I didn't even know what's like digital security is, so I looked it up. So that's basically like hacking, cyber, like phishing, and things like that. So I mean, that's definitely a concern, but I think my personal biggest concern would be like personal security and maybe health security. So for personal security, as you can see, the top 5 cities, so those are not countries, but the cities are Singapore, Copenhagen, Hong Kong, Tokyo, and Wellington. So a lot of Asian cities in there, even though a lot of people think like Asia is like scary, it's not safe. Yeah, so actually Asian cities are incredibly safe, as you can see. And the health security cities are Osaka, Tokyo, Seoul, Amsterdam, and Stockholm. Also, the top 3 are in Asia. So yeah, don't be scared of traveling solo to Asia. It's not as scary as some people might, make it sound like. Yeah. So this is a Safe Cities Index. I'm also, yeah. Juliana said, wow, I did not recognize that Singapore is the one. Right. So I've personally been to Singapore, and it's incredibly safe. Yeah. It's very, very good. It's very clean. And also what I really liked about Singapore was like the multicultural vibe. So it's a melting pot. You have people from all over Asia, all over the world too, in Singapore. And they have very, very strict rules actually and laws in terms of like litter. If you litter, like you can get imprisoned, I think. And they don't have chewing gum at all. They don't sell chewing gum because they don't want people to spit it out and like leave gum everywhere. So like it's a very neat place in all aspects of the word. So yeah, Singapore right there. Okay, now we're gonna look at the different regions and country specific, but I just wanted to throw out there the Safe Cities Index, so you can check those official like statistics out, like safecities.economist.com. There's also, I think, different safe indexes from like UNICEF, UNESCO, those kinds of organizations, so you can also look out for that. All right. So let's get into it. Let's look at teaching English in Asia as a single woman. And so that's personally where I fit in. I went to Asia solo by myself, and I never really had any issues. I've been to all of those countries listed here, and I was always fine. So the lowest crime rates in the region, so the lowest crime rates in Asia are in Hong Kong, in China, in Singapore, in Japan, and in South Korea. Those countries have the lowest crime rates in Asia. And then also, other popular options in Asia include Thailand, Vietnam, and Malaysia. So I know Gwendolyn, you're from Malaysia, or you taught in Malaysia? Can you maybe talk a little bit or let us know about that? I've been to Malaysia. I've been to Kuala Lumpur and like the surrounding areas, and I always felt very safe. It was a beautiful place, very friendly people, and most of the people also speak English very well, so that was also really great. I also traveled solo to Thailand before, which was great. I never had any problems. Same with Hong Kong. China, I lived in China for a year and a half. I never had any issues. Of course, there's like, so I also want to say, and this is a disclaimer, like, no place obviously is 100% safe, right? So even though those have the lowest crime rates, it doesn't mean they don't have any crime, right? I just want to throw that out there and make sure we all are on the same page. There's crime happening everywhere, and just as like the same as back home, you always need to be aware of your surroundings. Obviously, you need to travel smart. Whether you're a man or a woman or whoever, you need to just always pay attention to your surroundings and just act smart, right? So just want to say that. And also, it doesn't mean that like the other countries like Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, that they are not safe, or that if you go there, you're gonna get mugged or something. That's also not what I'm saying. At the same time, also, if you go to Singapore, something also could happen. Like, obviously, no place is 100% safe, but those places have the lowest crime rates. So those are statistics. Those are facts. Okay. That's just what I want to throw out there. And yeah, also South Korea. I mean, I've been living in South Korea for almost 6 years now. I also find it very safe. Especially recently, I've seen a lot of TikToks where it's like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning, and people are just going out in their Adidas slippers and going to the convenience store, and it's fine, and people from like Europe or the US, they are like mind boggled about it. So, all right, we have an answer from Gwendolyn. Great. She says, yes, I'm from Malaysia. Malaysia isn't as safe as, say, Japan and Singapore, but I'd say definitely safer than an American frat row. That's awesome. Yeah, so definitely, I agree. Yeah, so thanks for your input. Has anybody else been to Asia before, traveled solo there, or not even solo? If it was with somebody, it's fine too. And how have you felt there? What country have you been to? Did you feel safe, or did you not feel safe? Did something happen to you? So I definitely have a story from China when I lived in China, and we were out in like a downtown area, me and my friend actually, and we were just walking, and it was very crowded, a lot of people, and nothing happened to us, but like there was a couple in front of us, so a guy and a girl, and she was wearing like a backpack, and there were like two guys walking behind them, and we saw one guy try to open the backpack and like pickpocket something out of her backpack. We saw it, like he tried a couple of times to get something out of her backpack. And so we were like, oh my God, no, we have to tell her. So we like went up and we were like, hey, this guy is trying to like pickpocket you. And he was like, no, I'm not. And they were like, oh, thanks. And then they just left, like the guys with the girl with the backpack. And then we were like, oh no, like now the guys who tried to pickpocket them, because we saw them kind of leaving the area and going back to a group of more people. So we're like, oh no, now they're grouping up, and we were just two girls. So we were kind of worried. So we just took like two separate cars, two separate taxis, and we went back home. We were scared at that point. But yeah, so that's another thing. Just be smart, and yeah. Gwendolyn says, my top advice is to ask local women which areas are the most and least safe. With every city in the world, there are always places that are better or worse for women. It's like Linda said, us girls have got to stick together. Yes, that's some great advice. I mean, like you said, every city, there's a place where you shouldn't go. Like, even not just as a woman, but there's just a place you shouldn't go, right? With like crime and things like that. So there's some shady areas in every city. Definitely agree. And you don't want to go there. So that's where I think those Facebook groups come in very handy. You can ask, hey, I'm going to travel to this and this and this place. What's an area where I should avoid? Or I know that in Bangkok, or no, it was Hong Kong, I think. I have a friend in Hong Kong, and I visited Hong Kong, and I asked her, like, oh, what's like a good place to stay at? And she said, oh yeah, this area, this area, this area. And I'm like, oh, what about, I think it's called Chungking Mansion. I think that's Hong Kong. I might be confused, but I said, oh, what about this area? I keep seeing like really cheap hostels and hotels in this area. Like, how's this area? And she's like, no, don't go there. Like, that's very dangerous. That's why the hostels are so cheap. There's a lot of like pickpocketing and like crime going on in that area. So please don't go there. Like, stay in this area, pay a little bit more, but like, you're fine. So definitely reach out, to people who are in that place where you want to go to, and get some advice. Hey, Vidya. Vidya says, hey, Linda, here after a long time. Japan is a safe place for sure. Yes, I agree. Japan is very safe, and the locals are also very, very polite, very friendly. And actually, it's part of their culture to, like, they wouldn't pickpocket anybody, or they wouldn't do anything like in the open. They have this thing like lose face. So if like they were committing a crime and other people would obviously see them committing a crime, that would be like the worst for them. Like their reputation would all be gone. They would lose face. So that's like the worst thing for a Japanese person. So that's why they usually don't do anything like that. They might do like other shady stuff, like in the dark, but not like in the public, mug you or like do anything like that. Yeah. And also South Korea, that's very fun always here. Like a lot of people go to cafes, coffee shops like Starbucks or like other little coffee shops for like work or studying. So they would bring like all their stuff. They would bring their phones, they would bring their books, they would bring their laptops, and they would be there and work all day, and alone. Sometimes in a group, but mostly alone. And I've done that before. I went to a coffee place and I just worked on my laptop alone. And then at some point, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. You have to get up. You have to go to the bathroom. So then you just get up. They leave all their stuff on the table, go to the bathroom, and come back, and everything's still there. Like nobody would touch your stuff in South Korea. And I think that's true for Japan as well. I don't know about Singapore. I feel like maybe in Singapore too. Not sure. But that's what it's like in South Korea. Like you can leave your stuff, you can leave your phone, your laptop on the table in Starbucks, go to the bathroom and come back, and it'll still be there. So that's what makes South Korea also very safe. Of course, there's some other issues. It's not 100% safe. But yeah, I really appreciate that, and I really like that about Korea. Plus, there's like cameras everywhere, so people also are, kind of refrain from doing stuff like that. So, yeah. Christy says, I felt really safe while I was in China. No one harassed me on the streets, but there can be a lot of other crimes in the ESL industry when it comes to switching schools and getting permits, documents on time, etc. For example, bribery, forgery, and so on. Just got to be really cautious with recruiting agents and some schools. Yes, that's actually a really good point. And it's true, especially for China, I think, and probably other countries too. But I've also experienced that for sure. In China with like, faking documents and stuff like that. And the school would be like, oh, no, it's fine. You're fine. You're fine. But then if somebody checks, like, it's on you. You're screwed and you get deported, right? I mean, the school also has to pay a fine. But like, there's, a lot of people coming in and out of China, so they could get teachers all the time, I guess. So that's how that stuff can happen. But yeah, and also what I want to mention, you notice these little stars behind some of the countries here, like Hong Kong. So those are the places, just a little bit of TEFL info, that have these teaching programs available. So those are great places. Those are safe places for us to go. And they have teacher placement programs. So Hong Kong has the NET scheme. And I know a couple of you guys, you've seen the live about those. I have a special live about government-run teacher placement programs. I did that a couple of weeks ago, so you can go back and check it out in the playlist. I highly recommend it. So Hong Kong has the NET scheme, which you can apply to and then get placed into schools in Hong Kong. So does Japan. It's called the JET program in Japan. And South Korea also has a program, actually 2 programs called EPIC and the TALK program. So just a little bit of extra info for you guys, especially for first time. You know, if you don't know anybody in that country, it's easiest to just apply to the program and they get placed there. You also get a lot of assistance typically from those programs. They have staff who take care of you from the moment that you set foot on like the ground from the airplane. They pick you up. They, you know, give you an orientation. They give you, you know, a lot of info. So that's also something, a great, safe way to transition into a new place. Okay. Are we good with Asia? Can we move on to the next region? Or are there any more questions about Asia specifically? Let me know. I know a lot of you guys are specifically interested in teaching in an Asian country, so. And yeah, as you can see, Cambodia is not on the list, so I don't know what their crime rate is. I did not find Cambodia on like the safe list. But also I know many people who, also women who have traveled to Cambodia by themselves, solo, and they, you know, nothing happened to them. So like I said, it doesn't mean that if a country's not mentioned here, something bad's gonna happen if you go. That's not what that means either. So yeah, but maybe as a first time, you know, if it's your first time traveling solo or first time like going abroad, maybe pick one of the countries with the lowest crime rates first, so that, you know, you can kind of, you know, you can get experience in solo travel, and then you can sort of move on to maybe some countries that are considered less safe. That's what I would do. So yeah. Okay, then I'm moving on to the Middle East. So teaching English in the Middle East as a single woman can be, of course, a very tricky region for a woman to move to. So it's not everybody's cup of tea, for sure. I think definitely what I hear, the best place to go there is definitely like Dubai. So I know a lot of I've heard of a lot of women who are, you know, who've lived in Dubai and they loved it. Dubai, I have never been, sadly. It's high up on my list. I really want to go to Dubai. Who said like Dubai is really great. It's this modern like place. It's very international. So it's actually more than 80% of the people living in Dubai are all expats. So that's very, like, a lot. 80% of people living in Dubai are expats. So that's crazy to me. I'm really curious to go one day and check it out. So if any one of you has been, let me know what you think of Dubai. I think it sounds very intriguing. But yeah, so the region can be a little bit difficult, of course, for women. But the Middle East is also the region with the highest salaries for ESL teachers. So you kind of, you know, have to think about it. You know, you could do it for a year. Maybe you would feel better, you know, knowing that you make a lot of money, but you might have to deal with a lot of different things, like a very different culture regarding women in the area. But yeah, if anybody has experience with the region, do let me know. I would be really, really interested. But yes, actually the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, are among the top 20 countries with the lowest crime rate in the world. So, and like I said, I actually met this Korean girl here in my city who, she was a flight attendant for Emirates and she lived in Dubai and she really liked it. And I've heard from a lot of other girls who live in Dubai. I think most of them do live in Dubai, and they really, really like it there. So yeah, that could be a good option. I see Gwen. Cambodia would be safer in numbers. You can still go alone, but make friends there. Okay. Have you been to Cambodia, Gwendolyn? Yeah. So definitely I agree with you there. And like I said, that's also where those Facebook groups come in very, very handy. So you can reach out to people on there and make friends. And yeah. All right. Next location, we have Europe. So teaching English in Europe as a single woman. The lowest crime rates in the region can be found in Finland, in Portugal, in Spain, in Switzerland, and in Iceland. So I've been to Spain and to Switzerland, and yeah, I mean, I felt really safe. However, with like countries, a lot of European countries, pickpocketing is a very big problem, especially in touristy areas. Like Paris, Rome, Milan, like those areas. So pickpocketing is a big issue. I've heard from tons and tons of people that they've, had their phone stolen, their camera stolen, their wallet stolen, things like that. Yeah, so Juliana asked, how about France? Yeah, so I think pickpocketing is a problem in France, and I think overall at the moment they have a lot of issues with terrorism, so that's why I did not include it in there, and it's also not included in the lowest crime rates in the region on the list, so yeah. But I mean, I know so many people who live in Paris, and like I said, you need to take this obviously as a piece of information and then do with that information what you will, right? Like I said, if I don't name a country, it doesn't mean that that something's going to happen if you go there. I've been to France a couple of times, and it was fine. I never had any issues, but so, these are the facts. That's the crime rate statistics that I'm going to present to you. So take that plus information from people who are there, who've been there, who live there, who are from there, and then make your own informed decision whether or not you're going there or not. So, and like I said, you are not alone. You are not alone. All right, Gwendolyn says, yes, I went during high school. A lot of Southeast Asia is like this. Even if a region is a little less safe, women are safer in numbers. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're always safer as a group as opposed to when you're traveling alone. That's for sure. Okay, cool. And so, excuse me. You see the stars here. So I just want to mention for Spain, they have the Cultural Ambassadors Program. That's a really good program that I think targets specifically to US Americans and Canadians. So you can apply to that program because it's usually more difficult for US citizens and Canadians. So anybody out without an EU passport, basically to get a visa in Europe, right? It tends to be a little bit more difficult. So Spain has introduced this cultural ambassadors program that allows people, from Canada and the US to be placed into schools in Spain. So that's a great way to get into Spain. And also, that's something that I recently learned about Portugal. Apparently, Portugal is a new sort of digital nomad wonderland. They have this special new visa for non-EU citizens. It's apparently really easy to get for people to come to Portugal and work there. So if that's something that interests you, check it out. You can just Google Portugal digital nomad visa or something like that, and then something will come up. But that's another good option. Very popular at the moment, as I hear from a lot of girls and digital nomads who apparently love it there. It's a great way to set foot into Europe, for sure. All right. Then, yeah, Finland. I mean, all of those northern European countries are considered very safe in general, but it might be a little bit more difficult to get a job there. They also have very tight restrictions. So, what we always kind of recommend is the Czech Republic as a good place to start teaching English in Europe because of those visa regulations. So in the Czech Republic, they don't have as strict and tight regulations, so it's easier to get a visa there. And then once you're based there, you can, travel to other places. Hello, teacher. Good morning. I'm Hekmat from Afghanistan. Oh, cool. You just missed the Middle Eastern part. That would be so cool to know your perspective. Should we go back? Let's ask Hekmat. Because I'm really curious. I was talking about teaching English in the Middle East, and maybe you can give us some insight. That would be really interesting because I've been to Egypt. That was the only place in like that area, unfortunately. And then I changed planes there. But we were specifically talking about the United Arab Emirates as being a very safe place. It has one of the lowest crime rates in the world, and especially Dubai is a popular place because 80% of the population in Dubai are expats, so that makes it very interesting. And it's apparently also to be regarded a very safe place for women. So, Hekmat, what about other countries in the region? What would you say are some safe places for female teachers from abroad to travel to or to go to teach English? Could you give some insight? That would be really awesome. I'm going to wait a couple of minutes. There's always a delay between me talking and then you guys hearing it. I think it's about 20 seconds. So, yeah. But Hekmat, let us know. I think a lot of us girls are very curious about specifically that region. Okay, Moses says, I guess Afghanistan is Asia. Yeah, so I mean, the Middle East is technically Asia, right? Or, because Egypt's also on there, so Egypt is Africa. But the Middle East is not so much a it's not so much a it's a culturally, right? They share a similar culture, so it's not so much a continent. It's just a region. So yes, some countries in the Middle East are Asia for sure. So yeah, I see your point, but I just wanted to separate that because culturally they're very different, right? Asian, like East Asian, Southeast Asian culture is very different from Middle Eastern culture. So I separated those. Okay. I don't know if Hekmat is gonna give us an answer. Maybe he's typing, so let's wait a little bit longer. But thanks, Moses, for the input. I see what you mean, and I agree. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna move on then from here, and if Hekmat does give us an answer, I'm gonna show it to you guys. Okay. So we talked about Europe. What else is left? Yes, Latin America. Teaching English in Latin America as a single woman. So lowest crime rates in the region are in Argentina, in Chile, in Costa Rica, and in Peru. So those are considered safe. Those have the lowest crime rates in the region. Yeah, and also you notice the little star at Chile. So they also have a teacher placement program, which is called the English Opens Doors program in Chile. However, because of COVID right now, it's suspended temporarily. So I'm thinking that hopefully next year they will resume that because I think it's the only program in that region of that sort. So that would be really a shame if they wouldn't continue it. But yeah, does anybody of you have experience in Latin America? I know that, hold on. Where's Irma? Irma, do you have some input? Aren't you in Latin America, or am I remembering that wrong? Or hold on. Okay. Ahmed says, I come now. I'm so sorry about the subject. No, you're good. You're good. We were just thinking because you are from that region, so maybe you know something, you have some valuable input for us. But it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, it's all good. So if anybody's been to Latin America and would like to share a story or some feedback, that would be really great. I know that, there's definitely a lot of horror stories, unfortunately, coming from Latin America. So I think a lot of people are kind of scared from going there. Oh, Irma says, I'm from the Philippines. Oh, I'm sorry. Then I kind of confused that. Sorry. Okay. So yeah, that's also definitely a place that I would really, really love to go to, Latin America, but then also maybe not solo. I don't know. Yeah. I don't have much experience with Latin America, so if anybody has, I would really appreciate some input. But yeah. So the lowest crime rates in the region, as said, are Argentina, Chile, and Costa Rica. And I hear Costa Rica is really a great place. A lot of people go there, a lot of like backpackers and digital nomads as well. And there is a high demand for English teachers in all of those countries. So I think the best way to, if you're interested in teaching English in Latin America, I would definitely go to probably Chile or Costa Rica first. So Chile, if you can go through the English Open Source program, because then you already have a network of people, people from the program who will help you. Or Costa Rica, because it seems to have a very, very big expat community. I've also heard from a lot of people that Buenos Aires is very, very, that a lot of people visit Buenos Aires, and I think also some people that I know have been there and they went solo. So that's really cool. And Peru is my personal favorite. I would so love to go to Peru. It's high on my bucket list, so I'm really hoping to be able to go soon. And Gwendolyn says, I would love to go to Latin America solo, especially Costa Rica. Okay, solo. Great. Okay. Do you have any concerns about going there solo? What are your thoughts? Katie, didn't you say, weren't you in Latin America before? Wait, I'm trying to find your comment. Chile, you've lived in Chile. Could you talk about Chile a little bit? Yeah, I've lived in Chile for a year as a Rotary international exchange student when I was in high school. So how was it being in Chile? Did you feel safe there? Were there some issues? Could you tell us a little bit about that? I think that'd be really interesting for other people, including me. Like, I want to go to Latin America. That's like one of those, like, that, because I've mostly traveled in like Europe and Asia. Latin America is just one of those places that are still like mystic. There's something mystic about them, and I really want to go about those countries. Okay. Anyway, I hope that Katie could share some of her insight when she was living in Chile about how safe she felt there and if there were any safety issues or anything like that. That'd be really interesting. Oh, can you post links? I'm sorry, I ignored that question. Yeah, so oh, hold on. If you Google English Open Source Program Chile, so then you can see their official website, and I'm gonna just post that into the comment section now, so you can check that out later. But I think, yeah, it's still suspended at the moment. Yeah. The website says, due to the current global pandemic, the volunteer initiative is suspended until further notice. So, but there's also an email address listed, and they have a mailing list. So you could contact them if you're interested in the program, and then, have them add you to the mailing list. And then when the program is available again, you'll get an email. But it seems like since you're interested in positions in Chile that you enjoyed your time in Chile and you want to go back. So I guess that's a good sign. Okay. While we're waiting for an answer from Katie. Oh, those are okay. I want to go over a couple of useful tips for solo travel and solo moving abroad. So I just want to mention those two groups again that you can find on Facebook. That's Girls Love Travel with 1.1 million members and Solo Female Travelers with almost 80,000 members. So those two groups are really, really great that you can join. And if you're traveling abroad or also teaching, like I said, I did a live with one of the girls from the Solo Female Travelers group before about teaching abroad. So that was really fun, and they're super fun girls, and you can post your questions there. You can connect with people there. They also, as you can see here, it might be a little small, but they have guides. They also do lives. They do watch parties. They do all kinds of different things. You can also find you can connect with people who offer, they offer like a room in their house, for example, stuff like that, couch surfing, things like that. That's where those groups really come in. And then, so another great tip, what I would recommend is getting in touch with the embassy in the country you're interested in and ask them questions about safety issues and quality of life. So, for example, if you want to go to Chile, you could contact the Embassy of Chile in your home country, and they usually have a plethora of information available to you. So that's another great resource. And speaking of Chile, we have an answer from Katie, or a comment. So Katie says, very safe. Chile is a very friendly country, especially when you make an effort to learn and speak the language and travel in smaller towns. You do have to be aware and cautious of your surroundings in bigger cities. It is more common for robbery in the cities like Santiago and Concepcion, but it's not any scarier or unsafe compared to other big cities. Yes. And I think that's also my point for doing this live today. I think that a lot of people are a lot of girls, women are scared of making the move, making the leap, taking the leap, to travel solo, go abroad solo because of all those horror stories that they hear. So that's just one thing, it's typically not any less safe compared to other big cities. So it's just always, on the news, we see all those horrible reports always. Not saying that, all it's a wonderland everywhere. It's also not what I'm saying. But we always have to be cautious and aware of our surroundings, no matter where we go. So don't let that fear hold you back from traveling solo or moving abroad to a different country. Okay, then another tip I have for you are bloggers. So bloggers can provide useful insight into what's it really like living in a certain country. They also usually have a contact me email address, or of course social media that you can ask them stuff at. And usually most of them are very helpful, and very they love answering your questions. So yeah, reach out to bloggers or influencers, or Instagrammers or whatever, living in those places, and just send them a message. And then also my personal tip, start learning the local language before you leave your home country. Also, as Katie just mentioned in her comment about Chile, knowing some Spanish in Chile is really helpful. And that goes for every country, being able to speak the local language, even if it's just a little bit, really goes a long way. And also in terms of safety, right? So if you are able to say like fire or something, right, in the local language, it would, it goes a long way. It could save your life. So definitely, buy a little. They have like these small like travel language courses or something. So those are very helpful. And then also Clubhouse. Just want to mention that I am on Clubhouse. If any one of you is on Clubhouse, that's another great new platform to make connections. They also have a bunch of different groups, clubs, and rooms on there about traveling solo, about different countries specifically. And if you're actually interested, after this live, in about 30 minutes, I'm doing a Clubhouse talk with some other girls from South Korea, expat girls in South Korea, and we are doing a Clubhouse talk on there. If you're interested in that, I'm going to share the link to it. If you have Clubhouse and you want to listen and join the conversation about living in South Korea, you can join if you like. So in 30 minutes, about 30 minutes. That's going to happen. I'm excited about that. And yes, so now Q&A is open, 30% off. Again, scan this link. And I'm just going to paste the coupon link again into the comment section. And then you can keep your questions coming. We can do another couple of minutes together, and then I'm going to sign off. And then maybe I see or hear you on Clubhouse. That would be really great. Check that out. So I just put the Join Clubhouse, the event link into the comment box, and also our 30% off link in the comment box. But same as on all my social media, you can find me on Clubhouse at Linda Goes East. So feel free to reach out. Gwendolyn says, thank you for today. Thank you guys for being here again. I hope it was kind of helpful and useful. Obviously, I don't have firsthand knowledge what it's like to travel or live in all of those places, because I'm familiar with Europe, the US, and Asia. So I wasn't able to give a lot of information, firsthand insight about, Middle East or Latin America, unfortunately. But I think that, this is a community, and we had some great input from people who were in those places. I think that's very helpful. And that's what I really like about our lives. It's a community, and we all share our personal insight, especially Gwendolyn. You shared a lot, so thank you for that. Katie, lots of great input. Oh, Irma made a comment about, I used to do research, read and watch videos about living in Thailand. So things like that, share. Because like I said in the beginning, us women, girls, we need to stick together. So, yeah. Oh, and Juliana said, I really want to travel by myself, but I studied abroad with a friendly group in France for about 5 weeks in 2013. Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, so I hope that you take the information to heart. I think especially the 2 Facebook groups are really going to be helpful. You can make some great connections on there. I hope to see you on there. I'm also in those groups, and I'm, like to share my experience, and I like to ask other people as well. All right. Yes. So Christy asks, will the discount be available after this live? My sister can't sign up right now, but she's interested in getting started with her 120-hour TEFL course. Awesome. I love that your sister is also joining the TEFL fam over here. Great. So yes, the discount URL will be available the whole weekend through up until Monday. So you can sign up whenever you have time. You can also scan this QR code. You can watch the replay, scan the code. Make sure you copy. If you can't use the QR code, copy the URL from the comment section. Or here, I'm going to show it to you guys so you can also take a screenshot. So it's teflcourse.net/apply/?CU equals Facebook Live minus Linda. Okay, might be a little complicated, but yeah, you'll find it in the comment section. And you can sign up anywhere up until Monday to get 30% off. Mahmoud says, how can I apply? With this link I just shared, you can apply and you can get 30% off up until Monday. You can learn TESOL and TEFL and all that good stuff. Okay? This link, hold on, I'm going to share it again. Here, you can find it in the comment box. If you scroll through, you'll find it on YouTube as well. Make sure you look into the comment section and you'll find it there. Christina says, some great tips and very interesting. I'm wondering whether to travel solo or with someone, and this is very helpful and encouraging. Thank you. I'm glad. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Yeah. Great. So definitely join those Facebook groups if you haven't yet. I think those are really great. I know I keep repeating myself, but I think they're really great. So, okay. Christy says, perfect. Thank you so much. Thanks to all of you as well. I know there's a lot of familiar faces. I love seeing you every week again, and a lot of new faces as well. And yeah, so like I said, scan the code, get 30% off, or the 30% off URL. Look for it in the comment section. And yeah, I hope to see you guys again. Thanks so much. You can always watch the replay if you missed the beginning of today's live, and I'll see you again next week with another exciting topic, hopefully. So yeah, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.